Well, it's so ironic. We came out of the pandemic to find that we don't have enough supply in the marketplace. So as people were moving around the country to telework and work and commute, suddenly housing prices shot up everywhere. Not just in Arizona, but we have an acute situation here in Arizona because in addition to the pandemic, in addition to the labor shortage and the supply shortage, we had this huge influx of new residents come into the state. And they happen to be a lot of residents, or a lot of people moving in with a lot of money. And so they drove up the housing prices everywhere.
Does that hurt the average buyer?
Absolutely. It just prices people out of the market. I don't know any other way to say it. And of course, our home builders can't build the houses fast enough to meet the demand. But then they're also facing incredible odds because of labor shortages and supply shortages.
Is this going to make it harder for the economy to continue to grow, do you think?
I don't. I think instead, I hope instead what it's going to force us all to do is work holistically, is to think holistically. We don't attract new businesses without ensuring that we have workforce housing available. And that's happening. We are communicating. I think, if anything, over the course of the past year, we've learned nobody works alone. Nobody can work in a silo. And if the housing industry is going to respond or keep up, they need to know what's coming down the pike. And likewise, I think it's really become obvious now and apparent that our economic development folks now realize housing's not a given in Arizona. You know, we used to have months. We used to have up to a 6 month supply of available housing, and now we have literally what, less than 2 weeks supply. It's unheard of.
What do people who need the help from the Department of Housing need to do to find out if there is aid available to them, and how do they get it?
Great question. I'm glad you said that. So we have two different types of help here in the state from that came from the federal government. Number one is the rental assistance. Keep people in their homes, right? First and foremost, don't let people become homeless. It's much more burdensome and horrific once you are homeless. So first and foremost, keep people in their homes. Now, our rental assistance programs are being operated through the Department of Economic Security, and people can find that assistance going through the Department of Economic Security, or they can also reach it through several of our larger cities and our counties. They have their own monies available in their own programs to keep people in their homes. Now, the other component is the mortgage assistance that is just now starting to come into the state. We actually don't have the money yet, but we are creating essentially a third party platform, and we'll be partnering with the Department of Economic Security to keep people in the homes they own. And that sort of assistance, that can include not just mortgage assistance to make sure they're paying their mortgage. It can also include homeowner association fees that maybe long overdue, perhaps taxes, and even utilities. And it's important people know that factor as well. Again, the goal is to keep people in their homes.
We've been talking about home ownership, but there are plenty of people who rent homes here in Arizona. Are they seeing a similar financial squeeze? Are rents going up also?
They really are. We also have a supply issue with the in the rental market, and again, it's that pipeline, and so that is one of the fundamental roles of the Department of Housing, is to keep that pipeline of new affordable workforce housing, keep that pipeline open so we continuously add new units. We have we fell way behind the need over the past several years. Some of that could have been foreseen, but some of it couldn't. You know, who could have foreseen a pandemic? So we're working very, very diligently with our partners, public and private, to open back up that pipeline. And that includes one other partner in all of this, and that's our cities and towns and counties. Because at the end of the day, even if we have the money available, where an apartment community is built is a land use issue, which resides with the cities, towns, and counties.
Sounds like it's a big job. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you. Thank you. Anytime.